I was talking to my wife, and she said I have a talent for knowing things in advance, figuring stuff out. And I figured out about the tariffs, and I wanted to share it with people. Um, it can either, I don't know if it's going to make you feel better or scare the hell out of you. They're both kind of like problematic, but I thought that I would post this in Fort Collins, Colorado, just sitting on a bench, and I thought I'd spend this time to be able to talk to you. This is going to get chopped up a little bit for editing, and I'm sorry about the sound, but I'm going to do this one step at a time. So the question is, why is Trump doing this with the tariffs? Almost everything he says isn't true, so there is a real reason, and it's kind of interesting. The reason may or may not work, and I think that I was watching for years. I've had an interest in this, and I have interest in a lot of stuff. So it started out with a West Wing series. You know, there's a series called West Wing. They were talking about tariffs, and season 3, I don't remember the episode, but they were talking about tariffs, and kind of like made me wonder about tariffs. I learned everything I could about tariffs at the time, and that was in the, I don't know, I'll post it, I think it was in the 90s. And then during COVID, I thought to myself, you know, this globalization isn't that good of an idea, because we were missing so many parts for things. I mean, I lost a work contract because they couldn't get the stuff in that they were using in construction. So it kind of made me curious again about tariffs. So I did more research and did some reading. I thought, okay, so globalization didn't seem like a really good idea if things are not stable. And so that's the beginning of this, is we need to look at why we went to globalization. Now, there are 2 times in which our global trade has changed. One was in 1944, post World War II, and they changed it because of World War II. And then there was a second one right before or right during the beginning of Reagan's era, starting in like in 1977. I'm not really old enough to remember that too much, but I know that it turned to a globalization pattern, a globalization lesson. And then so they wanted to spread manufacturing out, and so that pulled it away from the United States. And so there's downsides to that, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But that's where we start this conversation, is we were in a pattern of globalization, in which the manufacturing left the United States in large numbers. Now, that's a really bad thing in some ways. For security, that's really bad, and you then rely a little bit too much on your neighbors, your neighboring countries.